Tomorrow we celebrate Nigeria at 59, and there are so many things to remember. The labors of our heroes past shall not be in vain. That's one line from our national anthem. It's not just the responsibility of just the heroes gone. There are some heroes not wearing capes, but they're still alive and well. One of them is documenting history. And in the course of her research in Nigeria's history, she's come across a startling revelation about the seemingly hapless past, youths, past, present, and future. And she's going to be talking to us through some of these experiences that she has had and she has documented over time. We're talking about Novo Isioro, who is a documentary photographer, visual communication strategist, and founder and curator. And she joins us from our Abuja studio. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, Mrs. Isioro. So could you give us a little perspective, first of all, why are you so interested in this?
My interest has just been about seeking knowledge. I am very interested in young people and how, personally, there's so much I didn't understand about Nigeria. You know, just questioned so many things. And the more I question myself and other people around me, and they don't have the answers to give me, the more I know that this is something like a personal call. And a lot of young people like me do not understand our Nigerian history. And I think, strongly believe it was one of the major factors or problems that we're facing, because we do not have any like established institution where Nigerian history can really be taught. And then recently, history was taken from our curriculum in secondary schools, and I thought it was a major problem. And this is how the whole interest grew. Like, how can history be taken away from our educational system? It's bad enough that we don't know so much, and because so much is not in the open, it's not accessible. And then the little one we had in our schools was yanked off. So these are the things that just grew the interest for me to delve into Nigerian history, like researching, and going into like places where no one was going to, asking questions no one was asking. And from the little things I've been able to gather over time, I have decided, I'm a visual communication strategist, and I really communicate with pictures, and young people like me understand better through pictures, through what they see, So I thought that I could, as much as I research, as much as I get, I decided to have an open gallery where I can show other young persons like me to come witness and see the truth for ourselves, beyond what was given, beyond what was handed over to us.
Okay, now take us through some of these pictures. The first one that I am particularly excited with is the one where you have a Nigerian and Biafran officers embracing each other at the end of the war, 1967. This one. Yeah, go ahead. Talk us through this. What does it speak to you?
Yeah, basically, I practice one of my favorite photos that I found. It's amazing how a lot of young people are interested. The energy is pumping up to want to be divided. And there was a day I was at the local market in Abuja, and I asked a young person, I said, have you ever seen war? Have you ever seen any pictures of war? Have you ever come close to it, like sights? It's not about what you heard. And she told me that no, that she hasn't seen anything. I said, okay, cool. Those are the things I wanted to explore. So when I saw this picture of a Nigerian soldier and a Biafran soldier and how they were hugging after the war, it spoke so much to my essence, and I believe every Nigerian essence. So all the visitors we've had always they wow at this photo. Like, you never know that there was a time where after the war, or I'm sure even during the war, some persons even that were fighting the war were like, we have to stop this. But of course, it was like obey the last order, yeah? But after the war, it's amazing to see that we realize that we don't need all this. And these are young people. And this is why my interest is basically about young people, because we are always the one that are at the forefront of this crisis, of this war. We are at the receiving ends. You never see an old woman or an old man fighting battle. It's always the young ones, the children, that are used. And then that is particularly why that picture really spoke to my heart, and why it's like it's one of the biggest prints in the gallery right now. You know, like, see what has happened before and see where it brought, you know, us. And that is amazing.
Yeah,
that picture is really amazing.
That same thing, you know, would probably speak to this next picture of a Nigerian civil war victim. Look at this image, and you know, when people, you know, beat the drums of war today, you know, talking about violence and talking about secession, many of them do not have this kind of experience. I mean, from this image that you have here, right?
Yes. So these are the survivors of the war, the civil war, and it was just, I mean, I deliberately do not want to put some other disheartening photos out there, but they're all present in the gallery, where you see, you know, people who've lost their lives on the streets and all that stuff. And it's enough. We don't have to keep hiding these things. We need to show it out. We need to, as a matter of fact, the mission is to have probably a whole gallery, you know, dedicated strictly for the Civil War. So schools will begin to visit. We just have a section of the gallery that is dedicated to the Civil War. And when people come to that session, they're like, oh no, why are you showing this? And I'm like, you have to see this. So when you experience this, you know that you don't want to come back there, no matter what. You have to find new means to talk and to talk about our differences, other than we want to fight and kill. Because who does it help, really? And that's the thing. So you see people who try to survive. I mean, several persons died, but a few persons, all straight into the camera, looking straight into the camera, apparently looking for help.
Okay.
You know, in that particular photo. So you know, it's one of the mildest photo, like the nice, like if I can use the word, nicest photo in the gallery about the Civil War.
Now, it's probably
it just says that
actually,
we don't want to come back here.
Yeah, it's probably also the reason that Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe's paper was titled Respect for Human Dignity in 1960. This was even before the war of 1967-68. So why does this speak to you?
Okay, so respect for human dignity, yeah. I saw this photo and I saw this particular text in picture, and I was like, this topic has actually been on since forever. So when we talk about unity right now, it seems like some persons are just trying to preach, like in the church or in the mosque or whatever. And this is why this particular photo, like, there are no people there, but it was particularly selected because it's just to show young people again, and even older people, that this topic has been on. And if we've been talking about something, they said in psychology, if you do something for 21 days, it becomes a habit. I mean, we've done this for what, 59 years? And we've been talking about unity in more than 50, like the photo there is more than 59 years. And then it's like you really, it's a call to duty for everyone, especially young persons, like I said. So it just helps us come back. It helps the older people to remember that this has been on, and also help the young persons to know, you know, so there's a reminder and there's a knowing afresh of that particular image, and that's why, you know, we thought it was important to show Nigerian youths, basically.
And also the fact that, buttressing the fact that that respect for human dignity is an element in the Constitution of Nigeria down through the years. I mean, of course, as we have it today, fundamental human rights is still entrenched in the Chapter 2 of the Constitution. But then, after the war, the government set up the National Youth Service Corps to try to foster unity among the people as well. And this is the pioneer set of NYSC?
Yes. This photo I was amazed. I did my youth service corps in a number of states about 10 years ago. and it wasn't influenced. So one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about NYSC is because, or I always pray for General Gowon, who made this possible for Nigeria, even though right now it's been in courts, you know, bastardized in terms of favoritism. So youths themselves do not want to, they do not understand, I think they do not understand why NYC was formed. Because if you understand why NYC was formed, then the question of lobbying for a preferred state, it's not going to happen. So now, I've engaged some youths and say, why are you influencing your NYC? Because the reason why it was formed is to foster unity. So you make an Hausa man go into an Igbo land and cultivate the land and work with the people and live there and all that stuff. But now it's not what it is. So the thing I hear is security. So security is not there. But the truth is, maybe if we begin to embrace why NYC, understand and embrace why NYC was formed, then we'll begin to, as a body, and say, what do we do about the insecure state? Maybe then we'll begin to march forward and say, we do not want to be posted to so and so states until the security is sorted. But the question, the truth of the matter is, NYC influences has been started even way before the whole insecurity, the crisis in all the northern states started. It's been like in my time, like I said, even before I served, like I said, 10 years ago, many young people they have preferred states where is it that it's like there's a job, you know, in this particular town or the state, so they influence it to want to be there for whatever reason. And I think it's not their fault, really. It's just because these things are not taught. You know, we need to, I mean, we cannot let the hard work of this person, who it might not be, in this case, it's not necessarily Jacobo Gowon, it could be any other person who's done something to unite the country. I think everyone should join hands together to push that, foster that cause. And yeah, we're talking about the youth to do this. We also need the institutions to support this. So our parents are part of the institutions I'm talking about, our guardians. You know, do not, let's not influence these things. Let's understand. I think because this is easy for people to do is because people are really forgetting or they don't understand, like I said, they don't understand. Like, I'm very big with understanding and education. So I particularly think that when people understand, when young people understand, and even our parents, you know, are reminded, or guardians, leaders, whatever it is, are reminded of why an institution or a program was formulated in the first place, we'll begin to find new ways to address the current or present day situation. Like I said, these problems are open, and I'm not unaware of them.
All right.
But we should not push it on the problems right now.
Okay.
It's been something that needed attention, like the whole influencing and changing the course of why NYC was formed. You know, so we thought we should show that picture to most NYC core members. They visited the gallery, and they are really they have this surprising look in their eyes, like, oh, so we had this before, like this long, and young NYC core members are actually on the farm working together. I proudly say that when I was serving, I mean, I didn't know I was going to be doing this 10 years ago, but I was posted legitimately to Anambra State, and I went there and I served. I didn't just serve there. I served in the community that I was asked to serve, because in my mind at the time, I was so young, I just really thought, I was younger than now, of course. I just really thought that it was important to do this.
Okay,
honestly, without having a clear understanding, because then it was a waste of time for NYC.
All right.
But that's one of the best decisions I've made in my life, because I've been able to understand these other regions and way of life.
Okay. One of the critical objectives of the National Youth Service Corps was to raise entrepreneurs from as soon as you leave the university. That's 1 year. Among other things, among some of the issues that you have raised, one of the objectives was to make entrepreneurs out of the youth corps members, but I don't know how well that was effective. However, you talked about the element of unity. So all those divisions along ethnic lines, along religious lines are completely obliterated in this next picture of Christians forming human shield to protect Muslims at prayers in 2012. Now, this is interesting, right?
Very interesting. So, like I stated before, NYSC was formulated, or was a program that was supposed to help to foster unity, which is not the case right now. You know, not 100%, but majorly not the case right now. When I saw this particular photo, and I thought it was something that curated all the photos basically, and I thought it was something which should be in the gallery because it was recent. And of course, this photo, we can't see their faces clearly, but it was young and old and all kinds of stuff. And these are Christians guiding the Muslims while they prayed somewhere in Kano, 2012, like it's recent. And this kind of image needs to be publicized. This kind of image needs to travel really far. This kind of image needs to actually be taught in schools, like put it on the board, on a projector, and really teach children and teach young persons, like, this is the Nigeria we want to see. This is actually the Nigeria we want to see. When you do not, it doesn't have to be your brother before it affects you. When it doesn't have to be your family members to affect you. When a church is being destroyed, the Muslims, the mosques should come and question why and find solutions. When a mosque is attacked, the Christian community should also question. It is not a question of until it's my concern, until it's my family, until it's my church, until it's a Christian or the Muslim, and that's when we have to talk. And then come out and fight. And that's why that particular photo is just a major, one of my favorite photos that I came across. And I'm still looking for the very, very original or the photographer who took the photo, because that kind of person needs to probably give us a bigger, clearer picture, and then we can like really put it out there. But it is something we need to always, in an image that we need to put in the face of every young person and say, this is Nigeria I want to see at whatever cost. There's no option, basically.
Well, it's interesting that that picture was taken in 2012 because it was about that time that we had the Occupy Nigeria, which also broke down all the walls of division, or ethnic walls, or religious walls, or political walls. All those structures were broken down when we decided that, look, we don't want every Nigerian spontaneously, not by any means, spontaneously decided to take a stand together. Now, that is definitely something. How frequently do you think we should have that?
So I'm going to link that photo to the Biafran, the Nigerian, the Civil War picture. That's the Nigerian soldier and the Biafran soldier coming together, like hugging and stuff. I think that it tells of our core as Nigerians. I think Nigerians are very loving people. I think Nigerians, in the midst of the chaos and everything, or whatever that has been orchestrated to divide us, I think an average Nigerian young person really wants peace. I could tell you that for free. They really want peace. But there's always this surface cloud, like something cloud in the mind, and then they act based on impulse or the immediate. And I still understand. But that photo of the Christians guiding the Muslims while they prayed, and the photo of the Biafran soldier and the Nigerian soldier just says to us that Nigerians want this. Nigerians want to be together. Nigerians actually love themselves. They really do. You know, we just have to put this narrative more on the table, you know, so that it would drown the noises of hate speeches and distractions and personal interest that is stirred up into personal interest that just channel youth into the wrong direction. Because in the core, in the heart of the matter, Nigerians, young Nigerians, really, really, really crave and they want peace for real.
Let's look at this last picture and tell me very quickly, why does this one speak to you? This picture.
Fantastic. I really do love this photo. And amongst the many photos I was creating, and I saw this photo, and I was, you know, there are other photos that you see leaders, you know, for the camera, and they shake hands together, and they're having straight face, and it's just it's like photo op. This is a rare photo of he's an APC and a PDP, and you could see that they didn't plan that it was going to be taken. Luckily, it was taken. Powerful image, and then it tells, you know, young people that, see, beyond whatever anyone tells you to make you hate your brother, at the back end, they are fine with themselves. So an APC person or a PDP person,
yeah,
or a Christian or a Muslim tell you whatever story, and
yes,
yet at the end, these guys go back and be friends.
Okay.
And drink water and gist.
Well, we could go on and
So
on this one, Isioro. We could go on and on because it's really, really exciting to look at some of these pictures. It'll be wonderful to visit your gallery one of these days, or probably even your social media handles. Thank you very much for spending time with us. Novo Isioro, documentary photographist, visual communication strategist, and the founder and curator, Anissa. Thank you so much for your time. Well, that's the show today. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Ayo Makine. Have a wonderful day.
The views and opinions expressed by guests on this program are those of the maker and do not reflect the views, opinions, and endorsement of Channels Television.